Hello, hello. All right, that should work. Right? Yeah, that should work. There we go. All right, I'm waiting for more people to come on in. Close this door. One sec. Sorry. There. To do that real quick. All right, let's see here. I'm just waiting for more people to join. All right. All right, let's see here. Oh my god. Can you not fucking do that now? Sheesh. All right, let's start. Why not? Who's in here? All right, let's. All right, so with quarterbacks for fantasy football, it really depends on like what pick you get. Honestly, you don't want to really draft a quarterback early in fantasy football. You really want to draft like a running back, or you really want to draft like a running back like Christian McCaffrey or Saquon Barkley, because they can get you both points in passing and rushing. But top five quarterbacks for me, thinking would be Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson, and like Deshaun Watson, just because of the season that they had last year, all the yards that they got, touchdowns, and all that. They were playing pretty good. They knew what to do when they had to do it. They're smart quarterbacks. They know when to do, when to throw. They know who to throw to. They all have a decent amount of speed to all of them, but Lamar Jackson sets himself apart with being the fastest quarterback in the NFL, so that kind of helps. But Patrick Mahomes is probably going to be number one also next year because he just because of that offense that he has with Kansas City. I think that he will be a great quarterback for next season just because he has like Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and all those people that he has. Hey David, what's up, David? But yeah, Patrick Mahomes will probably be number one. Lamar Jackson number two. I think Lamar Jackson will be throwing a little bit more next year because I feel like they're going to be able to slow him down just a little bit with his running attack. But quarterbacks that can like sneak into the top five for being honorable mention would be Tom Brady, Josh Allen, and like Drew Brees, just because they built a pretty good offense all around all those quarterbacks, and with all of them, they know how to throw. They know where to throw to. They have good receivers. They have good tight ends and pretty decent O lines. And when you have a good O line, that really does help to establish like when you want to throw, like what you want to do with your offense. Because if you don't have a good O line, you're not going to get anywhere. And if you guys haven't liked the video, can you like the live right now? Just make sure you like the live. Oh yeah, and if you want to get like later in the rounds, if you want to get like a running back, you probably won't want to get Miles Sanders right now just because he just got an injury not that long ago, and I think he played pretty good last year, just because he was really the Eagles' main running back, and he was able to do anything that he needed to. But I think a person that would probably be a bust this year is probably going to be James Conner. But running backs that can do good next year would be like Raheem Mostert, any of those 49ers running backs. They did really great last year. I liked watching them run the ball because they were able to dominate anytime that they wanted to run the ball. So I think if you pick up any 49ers running back later in the rounds, that'd be a great thing to do. But if you have an early pick, you want to get like Saquon or Christian McCaffrey, but later in the rounds, get like a 49ers running back because they'll still get you a lot of points. And then, yeah, there's been a couple players that have had injuries. Who is it? Nick Chubb. He got a concussion not that long ago, and he'll be good for next year. But like, still, he's still gonna play good next year. But that's just the injury right now. He's gonna be able to play for week 1 probably. What do you guys think about that with what I was saying with Lamar Jackson being probably a good quarterback next year and 49ers running backs probably being really good again because they really dominated last year. I think they did at least. Yeah, just make sure you like the live because that helps with making it go out farther with when it's on like a page. Yeah, Jimmy G, he could be top 10 next year, I believe. I think he's really good. I like how he plays. He's a pretty smart quarterback. He's if he just like trusts himself, he got is it Brandon Ayuk from Arizona State, I think. Let me see. I believe his name is Brandon Ayuk. Yeah, it's Brandon Ayuk. He's pretty much like another who did you guys have last year? Emmanuel Sanders, I think it was, something like that. Yeah, I honestly forgot a little bit. But yeah, he's pretty much just like him, just like younger. So I think he's gonna do really good next year. He played with N'Keal Harry, but another good receiver. I think N'Keal Harry will have a good year this year because even though he was hurt, I think he'll do good. So yeah, that's probably gonna help. Jalen Hurt, Jalen Hurts tore his ACL, and he plays players. Oh dang, he did? I didn't know. I didn't see that. I didn't see that he tore his ACL. When did it happen? When did he tear his ACL? Because I didn't hear about that. I don't remember when he tore his ACL. I don't remember hearing when he tore his ACL at all. Um, well, with now getting into running backs for fantasy football. I think honestly probably Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, Zeke. Those are going to be like the top ones that are going to dominate. Yeah, I'll look up his highlights like in a little bit. I've heard a little bit about him. I know he's not that bad of a player. I know he's pretty good. I've heard about him. Yeah, and then he's yeah, I've seen some of his highlights, but Christian McCaffrey, he's going to be the leading rusher for running backs just because he can run the ball, he can pass the ball. Not pass the ball, he can catch the ball. Sorry, and he's smart. He's shifty. He's fast. He can do everything that you want him to do as a running back. And with Saquon Barkley, he's number two, even though he got hurt and he was out for a couple weeks. I think, and he's still and he still got number two for leading rusher. I think that will go up just because they will probably trust him more, and he will get more carries because he's going to be the leading rusher like he usually always is. And then what else? Yeah, and then we have like players like Ezekiel Elliott who can really he's been dominant. Ezekiel Elliott, he's smart and he usually will be able to break a tackle like Saquon can. Christian McCaffrey, he's pretty hard to take down sometimes. He's an all around back. But I think players that could like sneak in top like five would be like Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, or like Nick Chubb, just because of the careers that they've already had. Joe Mixon or Kenyon Drake. Well, both are better in like their own things. I think I like Joe Mixon better. I would say just because the career he's already had, his young career that he's already had with the Bengals. He's pretty much like the one of the stars on the Bengals. that can do anything that you need him to do. Even though he's small, he can still run the ball pretty well, and he's a pretty good pass catcher. So I think he can. I think he'll do good next year too. And then I think that Nick Chubb and like Derrick Henry and like players like Dalvin Cook, they'll get into the top 5 just because they dominated last year. Derrick Henry, you're not going to be able to really tackle Derrick Henry on the first time just because he's such a big and like physical runner, and he's very smart. So yeah, I think that'll be the best thing for you guys if you can pick up Derrick Henry, just because he's got all the size that you need to. I like doing it. Yeah, they did get a little bit better of an O line. I know they picked up some players from other teams, and then they added God, I can't even think of any names right now. But yeah, they picked up like a lot of great players. They're really good. Yeah, but Kenyon Drake, yeah, he got traded to the Cardinals, finished top 4 in running back in the last weeks. Yeah, he's smart, but I think this is his last year on the deal with Cardinals. He's going to be a free agent next year if he doesn't play good this year. He's only on a 2-year deal. So yeah, I think players like that will do good for next year. And who are you guys thinking of picking up for receiver for fantasy? Who are you guys probably going to pick up? Because if I have like an early pick, I'm going to get some like Michael Thomas or like Devontae Adams. That usually get a lot of picks with them because everyone's going to want them, so everyone's going to want to pick them, and they're going to be like, everyone's going to be like, oh, I want to get this person just because how dominant of a player they can be in the passing and run game with how good they can be with blocking. Yeah, it depends on the round. Only first round receiver I'd take is Julio and Michael Thomas. You really don't want to try and take a receiver first round. If you have an early first round, you want to get like Christian McCaffrey or like Saquon, because they got just as many points as Michael Thomas at being a receiver. And another receiver that can do good will be like Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, Chris Godwin, and Mike Evans. Just because now that offense that they're going to have in Tampa Bay, I think they'll be really dominant next year. Yeah, if Michael Thomas falls and even like a late first, like an early, like mid round first pick, you should probably take. It would probably be smart to take Michael Thomas, just because he's a good player. And then I don't think Odell Beckham will have a good season this year with receiving yards. I don't think he'll be a 1,000-yard receiver. Yeah, if you have a top 5 pick, I would honestly try and take Christian McCaffrey over Zeke. Christian McCaffrey is just built is a different breed of running back, in my opinion. So I would take him over anyone else. But with tight ends, there's a lot of good options for tight ends coming into this year. You got Travis Kelce, George Kittle, Zach Ertz, Mark Andrews, Darren Waller, Hunter Henry, Evan Ingram, and like Rob Gronkowski. Any of those players, they can really dominate the line of scrimmage like that. They can do anything that you need them to do. They're smart. They can block. They can catch. They speed, route running. whatever you want in a tight end, they're gonna have just because they're a good they're on a good team. So yeah, I think that'll be a smart thing to do. And then but Travis Kelce, he got the most points in fantasy football this year. And then George Kittle was behind him. 1 second, yeah, I'm trying to fix something. Why won't it fix? There we go. And do that, and boom. All right. Sorry. But yeah, Travis Kelce will probably be the number one, and then George Kittle number two, and then players like Zach Ertz, Mark Andrews will probably dominate again this year, just because that team that they have, and Rob Gronkowski will probably have another good year. Players like that will probably dominate again. What do you guys think about that with tight ends? How do you guys think with that with tight ends? Who would you guys pick with tight ends? Who are you guys gonna want with tight end? Because there's like depends on really what pick you kind of get. Because if you get like an early pick, you're probably gonna want to also try and take a tight end like later in the first round if you have like multiple. You never know really. Just depends on what pick you get. But yeah, with that you don't really want to try and take a kicker early. You want to try and get a kicker later in the rounds, just because they're really not that much of a like threat, but they do get a lot of points. Like Justin Tucker, he got a lot of points. Harrison Butker got a lot of points. Will Lutz got a lot of points, and Greg Zerlin got a lot of points. So if you have any of those kickers, they're really going to do good this year just because they've always had a good career. And I think that Justin Tucker is really like the best kicker in the league. So if you get him, you're pretty much going to help get a championship for your team. Who are you guys gonna want? You guys gonna try and pick up a kicker mid round probably, like in the later rounds probably. That's probably what I'm gonna try and do. Is pick up a kicker in the later rounds because they can really help with your team with getting points. So if you get a good kicker, it's really gonna help you dominate. But with defense, this is like where like this can go either way any year with defense. So if you want like if you get like early picks, San Francisco, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, New England, and like Buffalo will be a great one. They've always had a great defense, in my opinion. So that's why you should always try and pick up those players. Who are you guys gonna want to try and pick up? who's still in this, who's still here in the live. Just let me know if you're still in the live. Who's still here? Because if whoever's here, I just want to know who's here and like how many people. But yeah, with honorable mentions for defense, I think it's gonna be like Kansas City, Buffalo, not Buffalo, Minnesota, and Chicago. Chicago usually has a good defense because they have Khalil Mack and all those players that will usually do good. What defense did you guys have last year for fantasy? All right. I don't think anyone's really in here anymore, so I might just end it if no one's gonna talk or ask any questions. Because I really went over all the things with fantasy, with quarterbacks and running backs and tight ends and receivers and defense and kickers. So I'm probably gonna make another video later. I don't know when yet, but I will make another video for football. So until then, I will see you guys later.